In this video tutorial, I'm going to go over the basics of paraphrasing and then also review the guidelines for the written portion of the paraphrasing assessment. Paraphrasing basically occurs when you take another person's thoughts and or feelings and put them in your own word to gain clarification on what they are trying to say, or to help them get something off their chest, or to help them through a situation that they might be going through. Why do we paraphrase? Sometimes we use paraphrasing because we can't always get to the answer or get clarification by asking questions. Or maybe it's quicker to do a paraphrase rather than asking a whole series of questions. And as we saw in the previous slide, paraphrasing is sometimes used to help the other person, the original speaker. Our authors provide 3 ways that we can paraphrase what another person is saying. The first one is by changing the speaker's wording, putting something in your own words. The second is by offering an example of what you think they are saying. And the third one is by reflecting on an underlying theme that you might notice. Here's a sample paraphrase in the format that I'd like you to use in your written example, in your written portion, but we'll go over that in a little bit. Here Felicia says, "Lee is a jerk. I can't believe how he acted last night." My paraphrase of what she said is, "So you're upset because you think those jokes were pretty offensive, huh?" Felicia responds by saying, "Yes, that's right." Watch out for parroting. Sometimes people think they're paraphrasing, but they're actually parroting. Here are a couple examples to help give you an idea of what parroting is about. First the speaker says, "Lee's a jerk. I can't believe how he acted last night." The first parroting response is, "So, you think Lee's a jerk because of how he acted last night?" And the second one is, "So, I guess you don't have a favorable opinion of Lee." For the written portion of this assessment, be sure to type out 2 different scenarios involving 2 different dialogues. One that involves a personal relationship, the second one that involves a professional relationship. Okay, so in step 1, you will describe the situation in which you'll mention who's involved, and you'll explain enough detail to kind of describe what's happening. Okay, in step 2A, you want to describe what your interpersonal goal is. State your interpersonal goal for using paraphrasing. In step 2B, explain how paraphrasing can be helpful in achieving that interpersonal goal. In step 3, here's where you'll type out the conversation or dialogue between you and the other person. And be sure to label both thought and emotion in parentheses wherever they occur within your paraphrasing statement. And after your paraphrasing statement, be sure to include a response from the other person. Note that both paraphrases for the personal and professional scenarios must focus on the other person's thought. And one of those 2 must focus on both thought and emotion. If you want, you can have thought and emotion in both paraphrases or in both scenarios, but at least one of them must have both the thought and emotion. Check with Chapter 7 for more information on paraphrasing, and as you do your written work, be sure to type it out in first person as though you're speaking directly to that individual. Please refer to the written instructions for this assessment to see what will be involved in the demonstration portion for the paraphrasing assessment. We won't take a look at that here in this tutorial. Alright, in step 1, you will describe the situation between you and the other person in detail to help the reader understand what's happening. Be sure to indicate who is involved in the conversation, you and whom the other person is. Below you'll see an example. My friend Felicia and I are having a conversation at a coffee shop. In step 2A, state your interpersonal goal. An example here could start off by saying, my interpersonal goal for using paraphrasing in this situation is, and then you would complete that statement. In step 2b, explain why paraphrasing can help you meet your interpersonal goal. The example below, paraphrasing can help me meet my interpersonal goal by, and then you would complete that statement. Okay, in step 3, you'll type out the dialogue between you and the other person that you're conversing with. In your dialogue, on the left-hand side, make sure to type out who is speaking. So down below you see Felicia speaks first and then I speak second. When you do your paraphrasing statement, down below it says my paraphrase on the left-hand side, be sure to put in parentheses both thought and emotion wherever they occur. And type the dialogue in first person as though you're speaking directly to them. Now remember that both of your paraphrases for both the personal and professional scenario must include the other person's thought in your paraphrasing statement. And one of those two must include both thought and emotion. So two of them will have at least a thought, and then one of those two will have the emotion in it. If you want, you can have both of them include both thought and emotion, but at the minimum, one of those two has to have the emotion mentioned in it. Okay, that's the end of this tutorial. Good luck on your paraphrasing assessments, and we'll see you in class.